Hey guys, it is my first day off in a while, so let's go have some adventures. I'm hoping we can hit up Michael's, I'm hoping we can hit up Dollar Tree, I'm hoping we can hit up Walmart, and maybe we can even hit Goodwill for kind of like a bam 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 of all of the mini-series that I run here on the channel. So grab your things and let's go. Oh, it is like 7 days after Halloween and it looks like Michael's is already ready for Christmas.
Yeah, they are. Now look at this one.
Trying to avoid getting people in the shot.
Must move. No.
So right now the jewelry section has a lot of the cute acrylic multicolor jewelry findings. So if you're into that, which it seems to be kind of trendy this season, Michael's definitely has those. Then if you're into Happy Planner, they look like they are fully stocked right now, including 2021, which I had a heck of a time finding just 2 weeks ago. How funny. You hit Halloween and suddenly we're all ready for 2021. Although I think it's safe to say that everybody has had their fill of 2020, so bring on 2021. And they're 30% off right now, which is not the best price I've seen here for Happy Planner. I've seen them around 50%, and usually I would wait that long, but since I start doing my planning for 2021 in 2020, I couldn't really wait it out. But they have some really cute designs, most of them being the 12-month ones. I wish they would do a 2-year one. That would be much more useful. And then the art kits have started early this year. I don't think I need to warn you guys off of them this year, right? You guys can just watch last year's Artist Loft kit video and how much it really caused me sorrow. And I know Michael's has done miniatures in the past, but it feels like for like their fairy boxes and fairy terrariums, they've got a whole bunch of new cute stuff out.
Oh, look how cute, Pat.
And no fairyland is complete without an angry mother gator and her 3 little ones.
Look at that, you never see the...
Nothing quite says Christmas and gift giving like the gift of a huge mess all over the carpet this year. Now you can give the gift of cleanup with Crayola's washable paint pour art set in neon edition. And they've got the Crayola signature line. I reviewed these a while back. They're alcohol markers and they're not bad. I don't know about that $21 price tag for $14, but they actually blend quite well, and I will link that video in the description. Plus they have some neat craft kits, like you can do clay string art and finger painting. You can do confetti coasters, as well as really cute food charms. And there are even more craft kits, from good old-fashioned spirograph to string lanterns, which you used to be able to do those out of sugar, to good old friendship bracelets, those have a soft spot in my heart, to journaling kits, to my mom really wants you guys to see the kaleidoscope. That is pretty cool. And you could probably put like your own beads and stuff in there too to like make it more personal.
Steam-powered weather station.
Bath bombs, crystal soaps, perfumes.
Music circuit. Oh, your snap circuits. Look, you take some electricity. Robots.
Now, when I was a kid and a teenager, I actually really liked craft kits. I learned how to do all sorts of different things from kit, especially the klutz kits. And I don't know if this is a new thing, but Michael's has like a whole clay and slime section, including your choice of, no joke, scented glues, because we really need to encourage kids to eat glue in this year, 2020. But there's also glitter glue and color changing glue and confetti slime activator. Of course, the Funko Pops, including the ones you can paint yourself. And most of the slime they have over here, kinetic sand.
Kinetic sand is real good too.
Yeah, Montessori schools really like that because of that tactile. Yeah.
It's good for
Ooh! Got so excited about that slime. But they also have a lot of pre-assembled slime, including the cutesy stuff.
Glitzy mat.
It's not enough for your slime to smell like food. It needs to look and smell like food as well, and come in a ginormous tub with confetti / sprinkles.
Do with that.
And they have liquid Sculpey, which can be used to add small, fine details. These are molds, I know, but what I'm trying to say is, like, you can use liquid Sculpey, like slip, to create raised designs with, like, your clay art. And they have it in different colors, too, so you don't even have to paint it necessarily. Oh, that's neat. Look, this is one of the suggestions. You use, like, you could use, like, a silicone pat and do, like, a lace design.
Here.
That's really cool. Oh, so the molds go with the liquid Sculpey. Okay. Now I understand. Oh, thanks. Thanks. Your sympathy is appreciated. And gosh, I thought the endless anime art with perler beads was gonna kind of exit my life after anime cons, but no, you can now do Wonder Woman, Batman, Mario, or buy the huge bags of a single color. A basket of tribbles for your crafting needs.
Geckobot?
Yeah, Geckobot looks pretty cool. I know these are popular with some folks, but these are those rhinestone and glue art pieces.
Yeah, here.
Some of them do seem kind of cool, but they're also huge.
Yeah, something like it's got them.
You can buy the individuals if you wish to make your own. And they also have some smaller starter sets if you're totally new to applying small rhinestones to sticky paper. Or you can invent your own designs, which is actually pretty cool.
I guess you could. That'd be very creative.
Look, they sell the grids down at the bottom.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
So you could do like a picture of somebody in your family.
If you, whew, you are brave.
Yeah.
Brave and patient. So this is the craft kit that I reviewed last year, and I really did not like it. So I'm gonna link it in the description below for you guys to check it out. And this is the one I was trying to get a hold of, and I couldn't find it anywhere. These go on sale for 50% off, like right after Christmas, so I'd wait till then. The marker aisle, one of my favorite places. So
and there's the
yeah, that's the 3D doodler glue. Do you remember Wiki Sticks?
Yeah.
Those like wax things that never caught on?
Yeah.
Whenever I see 3D doodler stuff, I always think of the Wiki Sticks. All right, so we have so many markers. The Tombow dual brush markers are water-based markers, so they're not necessarily compatible with your alcohol markers. They also have Ecoline brush pens, which I really like because you can refill them using the Ecoline liquid watercolor inks that most art stores carry. The Tombows are not refillable, so if you were going to get just one, I would say spend the extra money and get the one that's refillable. Also has a nicer brush. The Artist Loft markers can be a bit hit or miss. The newer ones that utilize the new soft foam rubber brush are much better than the older ones, but when you get things in packets, you don't really know when they were made. They do have the open stock ones though, so if you're going to get the Artist Loft markers, I would recommend checking them. They also have a small selection of Posca markers, which are a water-based, basically like tempera paint sort of marker. Some people have speculated that they're acrylic. The Posca site is not giving anybody any clues, but competitors label them as tempera markers, so I'm going to go with that they're tempera markers. You can also get your open stock Ecolines, as well as a couple of pro markers way down there, and your Tombow carrying case. Over here we have the Copics, some of the Tombow ABTs open stock under lock and key. I wonder why those are under lock and key, as well as open stock Prismacolor markers. I recently reviewed the Tombow ABT markers. In fact, it was this set that I looked at last, and I really did not like them. So save your money and either get the Copics or get Prismacolor or get the Artist Loft markers. Then further down we have the wonderful world of color pencils. Oh man, they're carrying so many more open stock things now, like the Irogetan color pen. These are Faber-Castell, but the Irogetan pencils, which, where did I see these? Oh, Tombow. Never mind. Wrong branding. I got all excited over something that didn't even happen.
Which ones you looking at?
Oh, I thought they were carrying just a wider selection of brands. It does seem like they are. Like they're carrying the Faber-Castell Gold Faber, which is the student line for Faber-Castell, with the polychromos being the professional line. Oh, and these are really fun. These are also pretty popular online too, the multicolor jumbo pencils.
There's Karen Dash.
Yeah. Oh, hey, they carry the Super Color 2 open stock. That's pretty cool. I really like the Super Color 2.
Not much open stock.
No, that's like 6 colors maybe. But hey, it's better than no colors. And then,
Do they carry them in sets?
quite possibly, they've got a lot. They've got Inktense, which I really like. I prefer those over the Derwent watercolor, even though they're made by the same brand. They have a wider selection now of the Winsor Newton watercolor pencils. I took a look at those a while back. They're all right, but after contacting Winsor & Newton, they told me that they're using cotton level pigments in them. So I would recommend, if you're looking for good watercolor pencils, you go with the Inktense. Those are some of my favorites for the price. And then they've got the Artist Loft complete set. Generally, I'm not a fan of Artist Loft. I find that they don't really perform as well. Now, they also have Tombow mono products. I really like these. These are some of my favorite white vinyl erasers. So it's cool to get them, to see them getting some shelf space here at Michael's. They've also got a pretty extensive range of permanent markers, but what I happen to really like is they carry the mild liners, and they don't just carry the mild liners, but they also carry the mild liner brushes, and it seems like they're carrying the Stabilo Boss highlighters. I can't get it. There we go. So for the folks who are super into doing very pretty journal spreads, it looks like Michael's got you covered. They also have the Friction ballpoint pens. Those are erasable with a little bit of friction from heat. Staedtler Triplus and Stabilo in all sorts of colors. And then over here, some of my favorite inking pens, including... Do they still have it? They used to have it. Yes, they still have it. But they're all rubber banded together. The Sakura Pigma FBs. I really like these because they are alcohol marker safe and waterproof, so they see a lot of use in my studio. Now up here they also have the Pitt pens in skin tones as well as bright colors. Oh, they have the Marabou Aqua ink. It's weird to see these in person. I thought they kind of just died off on the face of the earth. As well as some of the Ecoline watercolor inks. These are dye-based watercolors, and you can use those to refill your Ecoline watercolor markers. Gosh, Michael's feels like it carries so much more, has like a better selection of professional art supplies than it did when I was a young artist. A lot of great stuff. Oh, the paper aisle, one of my other big favorites. Though I am not seeing the spiral bound 300 series Bristol that I was looking for. Womp womp. However, we can get one of my other long-term favorites, the Canson XL watercolor sketchbook. So if you're looking for like a good all-rounder inexpensive paper, like say you want a mixed media sketchbook, the XL watercolor is great. It takes watercolor, it takes marker, it can basically take almost anything you throw at it. Speaking of interesting papers though, I reviewed Stonehenge Aqua's black paper not too long ago and really enjoyed using it. Stonehenge's watercolor papers are pretty excellent, and their black paper is no different. It's particularly fun with metallic watercolors, and of course you can earn some points. So even though the summer wedding season is now over, it doesn't mean you can't get wedding supplies at Michael's. And you know, I ended up getting a lot of my wedding supplies online off of like Amazon, But, and I did find that Michael's was kind of expensive for what it is. But if you need stuff last minute, like I ended up getting the pen that we put on my sash from Michael's.
Oh, you found some more?
Oh, I was just looking and talking.
Yeah, I remember those things.
Yeah. I mean, a DIY wedding is still cheaper than paying somebody else to do it all, and they're probably just going to head down to Michael's or wholesale.
A lot of people that got married did the do-it-yourself wedding.
Well,
Because
I mean,
they couldn't do
you're
the one they
having
planned.
you're having such a small wedding
Yeah.
because of COVID. Yeah, there's no point in like spending all this money for 10 people.
Yeah. Well, they had to cancel the venues. They
Yeah.
had to do all kinds of stuff, and they lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Clearance.
Your favorite. If you're on the market for some canvases, these are in the 75% off section, although I don't know if that's going to be true universally.
Bigger.
Christmas is here. Get your fill of ornaments. Some of the glass ones are pretty though. Oh, there's the trees. Some of them are on sale. Or maybe that means for sale.
Did I buy some new flags last year?
Ooh, and there is all the Christmas ribbon. And so many wreaths. So much Christmas. Christmas lights.
And that's the way to do it. Look at those. They kind of dance.
Ooh, these are pretty.
Which ones are those? Oh, yeah.
The crackle glass. I always like the ones that look kind of retro. So this is kind of a weird section because you definitely do get stuff in it, but it's not clearance. It's like overflow. Like it's mostly rolling carts and storage boxes, but then you get planner stuff. Bowie would just love these. The feather picks. I think it's not safe to get them for him though. Here's all the patio lighting. I actually think ones like this, like the pearls. Oh, the little stars are super cute too. Those are really cute.
And these lights.
Yeah, I see people with those.
Edison
Those are like obviously patio lights.
Yeah.
Or you could put them around. I used to have lights like that around my front door in Nashville just because there wasn't enough light. And your chargers and your tea candles and your regular candles. They have the Liquitex inks.
Interested in.
I like
Those are
these.
pretty
They
colors.
are pretty. I like them. You can use them with like a dip pen and ink things with them and then paint over them.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's Quinn Magenta. I might have that one, but I think I have some of the muted colors because they work really well with
Like
skin
these?
tones. No, it's like a muted pink. That's actually like an iridescent. After you... Nope, I was wrong. They do have an iridescent though. That's red oxide. Where is the iridescent for that?
I don't know, but this is like...
There we go. That's one of them.
Yeah, and there's another one right there, huh?
This might... Well, that's a neutral gray.
This one here. It's like a copper.
This might be... Nope, that's white. Huh. They don't have as many of the iridescents as I've seen before. And then down here...
Is
Oh,
it
here are the
same thing?
iridescents. Okay.
So you can get just the iridescent.
Yeah.
And what's the other kind of pack?
What is that? Just colors. Looks like cerulean, a red, and a yellow.
Wow, it's like a green, huh? Yeah, they must look like a yellow. What are these down here?
What? These?
These down.
These look like they're for like resin additives. And people can do that with like alcohol inks, or they can do that with acrylics, watery acrylics.
Okay.
Are a competitor's acrylic inks. So
Okay,
these are
it's the same thing
FWs.
as this over here.
Yeah,
except a
pretty
different
much.
brand.
They're both good. These have been around for a while.
Oh, that's pretty. It's got like the pearlescent.
Yeah. And that's usually like a colored mica
Okay, what
to make
about
it
these right
non-toxic.
here? What is this?
I think those are just metallic acrylics used for painting because like the swatch looks
Black
like a piece
pearl, it says.
of wood.
Metallic paint, satin
Yeah.
finish.
That red is some red.
Yes, it is. This one goes in there.
Yeah, it goes over here. If I can put it up there.
And this one is black pearl. Is that dry or is it liquid paint?
Do you mean is it like powdered pigment?
Yeah.
It is probably like a heavy body acrylic, which means it would show brush strokes. Whereas a soft body acrylic, I'm just guessing though.
Yeah. What about these sets over here?
Those are just
these
a continuation of
separate here,
these. They're
separate
probably like a
specialty?
CMYK.
Like the specialty?
No, those aren't
Groups?
the, what's it called? The iridescents.
No, but I mean, is there a particular reason why they have?
It's just a starter set.
Okay, so there's 6 of them in there.
Yeah. Just to get people kind of started.
And what about these? Well, that's acrylic.
That's acrylic. That's a big bottle of acrylic.
Yeah, that's for
That is
like-
a big container.
That's for like the class, huh?
I guess. I remember when I was doing an acrylic class at UNO and they had me painting like 4 foot by 4 foot canvases and I had to
Yeah.
go to Michael's.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the big tubes of Galleria. They had,
The little
like
ones.
this.
You must have gone through a lot of them, huh?
I went and it was so expensive because my scholarship would not give me money towards that. So all of any money I had went to buying paint and I hate acrylics.
This looks like
Almost like
pearl.
gesso. Nope, titanium white.
Okay, and these are some more.
Those are all
acrylics.
acrylics.
And where are the waters?
Down here.
Oh, here. Here's some water.
Yeah.
And then these sets, huh?
Yeah. The Artist Loft sets. They look like a rebranding of the Pabeo sets on. Which sometimes they are, because that's sometimes what store brands do, is
They
they,
put their name on it.
yeah, they private label.
So which do you prefer, the watercolor in the tubes or the little?
So when I'm painting, I like to use half pans because they're easier for me to control.
Here's watercolor.
Yeah.
Value pack right
Oh,
here.
no.
What's
no.
wrong with this?
No, so many no's.
Why? What's wrong with it?
It's just they're not very good watercolors. So like the plastic tube watercolors, that's a tip off that it's probably not going to be a high watercolor in the US.
Why is that?
Because it's usually used for children's grade. So very cheap watercolors will use very cheap pigments to make the colors look brighter, but it's usually like a white pigment. So like PW06 is a common additive. So it looks really bright in the tube and on your pan, but when it dries chalky.
Okay.
And it can be prone to flaking up and prone to, like, if you do layers, getting muddy
Yeah.
or relifting. So like my recommendation is like people buy a small set of really nice watercolors rather than getting all of the colors and just learning how to mix. What nicer
Where?
here
Yeah.
would be the Daniel Smith ones over there.
Right here?
And Daniel Smith is made in the
Level
US.
3 professional.
Yeah.
So, that's the brushes I'm looking at. Okay, level 3
No, it's the tubes.
What's level 1 best value?
Student grade. So
And level 2 artist is what?
they're saying it's the liquid aquafine. I haven't
That's the
played
ones
with
that are
those.
the level 2?
I think so. That's what they're saying. And the Academy acrylic color. That's weird because it's under
Yeah,
watercolor.
but they're different. Like, this is Academy.
Yeah.
This is Artist
Yeah.
Loft.
And then above
This
is
is
Cotman.
Cotman.
And Cotman
And
is
this
made
is
by Winsor Newton.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Okay. And so the best ones are the ones
Yeah,
in
the-
professional watercolor.
Well, I personally, I think the better ones are the Daniel Smith ones.
Where are they?
They're right underneath, or no, they're on top of actually the Winsor Newton.
Whether the ones at the top in the black tube?
Yeah. They have the flower logo.
Oh, okay.
And those are made in the US.
What about the jars down here?
Those are grounds, watercolor grounds. So that you could paint those on like wood and it would give you like a receptive surface for watercolor. I don't think it
okay.
really acts like paper though.
What does it do to the wood?
It just creates a surface on top of the wood So it
Okay.
doesn't change the wood's properties. It just makes it an easier surface to paint on top of. You could like glue some paper on it for almost the same thing.
Okay, that's a set that comes with.
The travel brush, and then sometimes they'll come with like a mixing palette in the top.
Yeah, I
That
think
one
that's
doesn't.
what the inside of the pan is. Probably, huh?
You could. The problem is the inside of the pan is a dark color, and when you're mixing colors, you want to try and mix on white, or as close
yeah.
to white as
Yeah.
possible, so you can accurately gauge.
Yeah.
That's for watercolor though. For acrylics, they say you should mix on like a neutral gray.
More like this, huh?
Yeah, like
Are these
like
the
this.
mixing pans right here?
They could be for mixing up larger amounts like washes, and then you could mix your colors
So what
on the
about
white
this
top.
brand, Daler Rowney?
I'm not a big fan of them. I find that they paint kind of soapy.
What does that mean?
Soapy, it means they usually use glycerin in addition to like gum arabic, and it literally feels a bit like painting with soap.
Why is
It bubbles and it just kind of like slides on the paper instead of absorbing into the paper.
okay.
And then when it dries, you'll get kind of like a sheen to it, like it never really soaked in.
It still looks wet when it's dry.
No, that would be preferable. It looks like
What,
like
you can
Crayolas a
move it
little
some
bit.
more? Okay.
Well,
What about
no.
the koi down here?
You know, there are a lot of people who don't like koi watercolors, but I've been painting with them for a long time. So, oh, and those are that's newer. So it's like their neons and their iridescent colors. So like, theoretically, if I was buying for an artsy teen, oh,
Excuse me.
Gesundheit, this might be what I go with because,
it's got the kind of colors.
well, yeah,
they
it's
wanna
really
work with.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, like back here.
And I mean,
Oh,
when
yeah,
it's
they have some
neons,
pretty
it's
colors,
like real
pearl
neons.
colors. Like here's some pearls.
But the thing about this, bless you, is that you can mix any of these colors if you just have the silver, and then you can just mix in like your neons or from like the regular set.
Is that what this is?
So it's kind of, yeah. Well, they come in different sizes. That's like the 24. Yeah.
I know they got some pretty bright colors in here too.
Yeah. Oh, they may have changed some of the colors since the
Look at
last
some
time I
of
bought
these.
one.
Look at this. This doesn't.
Like Viridian.
Yeah, the colors are not like just a color. It looks like it has.
Yeah, there's a little bit of granulation. That's one of the things I like about this brand. Also, they last a surprisingly long time. So, like, I know people sometimes balk at the price, but when you buy nicer watercolors, they really do last longer. Because with the cheaper ones, it takes more color, more of the pan or more of the tube to get an intense color out of them.
So what are they showing right here?
That's a
with the-
water brush.
Right. So what are they doing? They're adding some of this. to
No,
the
no,
water
no, no.
brush?
They're just filling it with water. So these are Japanese, so
Yeah.
they unscrew the opposite direction.
Oh.
So it's right to left rather than.
Okay. Okay, that's the smaller set right there.
Yeah, probably.
Boy. Well, they have the smaller set both times.
Yeah.
What's on this side? Oh, that's this one. Okay, and what about these, like,
The pearlescent ones.
these other pans of watercolors?
You know, I have a friend who really likes the Niji pearlescent ones. I don't like them as much, but I mean, she's a fellow artist, so she, you know, I trust her taste. I reviewed the Artist Loft watercolors a couple years ago, and people really like them because the colors are really bright, but they will literally flake off the paper.
Yeah, okay. That's not a good thing.
Yeah. Fun to play with though.
Well, sometimes that's all people want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what about, like, this set of Daniel Smith?
So I really like this set. This is their 6-color mixing set. So it's got 2 yellows, 2 reds, and 2 blues.
But these
And
blues are, like, the different
yeah,
colors.
so there's a cool yellow and a warm yellow, a cool red and a warm red, and a cool blue and a warm blue.
Okay.
So that should allow you with patience to mix almost any color you want.
And what is this?
Watercolor ground. So it's that stuff that I was talking to you about
So these
earlier.
are all, this is like the range of colors that you could
Yeah.
actually get from this set
Yeah.
right here.
And what you can do to figure out what range your palette has is you can make a grid just like this one. And you basically just layer one color on top of the other. Some people will mix the 2 colors and then paint it in, but I like doing it the layer way.
Yeah. Okay, it talks about create a paintable surface.
Yeah. So you could go get like one of the wooden boxes from the wooden box section and paint something on it.
What about the Grumbacher?
So that's an interesting one because I know they have a professional line outside of the Academy one, but I haven't seen their professional line in a few years. But last time I played around with Academy, they weren't bad. I would say they're probably on par with Cotman. Yeah.
Do they have the metal tubes or the plastic? It looks like metal tubes.
Yeah, the metal tubes.
And it comes with a palette, like a mixing
palette. So what you could do is you could put a little pate of each color in there. And then the thing about tube watercolors is many tube watercolors, when you add water to them, they'll reactivate even if they're fully dried out.
Yeah.
Because gum arabic is hydrophilic, so it likes water.
And
so
it sucks it up.
Yeah. I mean, you might have to be patient with it and do a drop of water and then wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I like about tube water, because you asked about tube versus pan, what I like about tube watercolors is that to me they're more economical. So I'll squeeze my tube watercolors into half pans and let them dry, and I can get 3 refills from a tube. And the tubes usually cost as much as a half pan does.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm getting 3 times the value. Not every brand reactivates
but this
real
particular brand you can.
Yeah. In fact, I used some Academy from like 10 years ago. Like I bought them when I was at UNO, and I tested them out, and even though they had dried in the tubes, I was able to reactivate them and get decent color. Yeah, I was surprised because
You added water to reactivate them?
Yeah, well you can also, if they get dried in the tube and you want to put them in like a new half pan or
What about the
something,
Winsor
you can grind them up and then add a little gum arabic. Cotman's pretty good, but the thing is, Cotman costs almost as much as Winsor & Newton's professional line. So what I usually
Where's Winsor & Newton's professional
their
line?
professional stuff is going to be in that case.
Okay, that's right.
Towards the bottom.
Oh yeah, look at the price of it too.
Yeah.
And so what size tubes are these?
Depends on what it says. Turn it over. Because they look like 5 milliliter tube. No, 8 milliliter tubes.
And that compares to what?
Ooh,
like these?
They're smaller. Yeah.
No, these are 8 milliliter.
Yeah.
And this is Winsor & Newton.
Yeah.
So that would be over here. Yes.
There are Cotman colors that I still buy because they are more economical. Like sepia is almost.
How do they interact with
as
other brands?
You know, that's a really good question because there's some watercolors that are just so like soapy and behave so poorly that I would never use them with another brand. But the palette that I paint my comic pages with is made of like 6 different professional brands of watercolor, and they all play together nicely. Like I use.
Did you look out, or you? This is cute.
I was pretty picky, so I've been, because like I find that Winsor & Newton is kind of expensive for what it is, so I wanted to find some other brands that maybe didn't cost as much. So
with the same kind of quality. Cute this
exactly, yeah.
This little pan is.
Do you remember I had one of these forever?
Like
yeah.
I
really liked it.
Slides up, you have the mixing trays.
And you get a water cup.
I
really use that thing all the time. And then what's nice is with the half pans, you can replace them with any half pans you like. You don't have to stick with just that.
This one over here.
No, I was kind of careful. So like I've been reviewing professional watercolors for a while. So if I find a brand I like and there's colors I like, I put them in my daily driver palette.
Was there an artist who only used to use this kind of brush?
Bob Ross, maybe? It seems like he loves.
He uses knives a lot.
Yeah, loves the fan brushes.
That's how he does his trees, isn't he?
Yeah, with the fan brush.
He just goes tat, 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 tat. Okay, what about over here?
Over here.
These are oils.
That's not my
Okay, it's
not my wheelhouse. I don't know anything about oils. Oh, they have the Molotov ones now.
The what?
These are masking fluid pens, and as much as I love the concept of masking fluid pens, I've never had.
Keep you right. You use it, and then it doesn't let the color absorb.
Yeah, it blocks the paint from soaking. You can use like a masking fluid pickup or like a rubber cement pickup They don't have any here, otherwise I'd show you. Some people use their fingers. I don't, because I don't have any luck with getting them to come up.
What is this?
So these are neat.
Intense paint, pan, travel set
yeah.
palette.
So these are made using India ink pigments rather than like mineral pigments. So they are basically going to be light fast, and once they've dried,
they don't fade.
Yeah, they don't fade. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're very finely granulated, so the color kind of feels a little bit flat. But some people can make. I can't make beautiful art with it. It makes my art look dead, but some people can really use it. And that just goes to show you how different supplies suit different artists.
Yeah. Well, everybody has their. I mean, it's like pencils.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got their favorites.
All right, thank you guys.
You're welcome.
That wraps up my trip to Michael's during fall. So after a long day of shopping and definitely a little bit of gift guide advice giving, I am back from Michael's, and here are my spoils from my Michael's shopping trip. So we saw a lot of neat stuff at Michael's, but I already have a pretty well-stocked studio. So I picked up this paint bucket for my younger brother. It's one of his Christmas presents, who paints models. What I particularly like about this is it has a brush rest on the top. Now, he is forever guilty of just leaving his brushes like soaking in water and ruining the bristles. So I'm hoping something like this will help him keep those brushes out of the water. Also picked up another Canson XL watercolor sketchbook, because like with my normal drawing sketchbooks, I go through these pretty quickly. And I also got some restock of things I just consume all the time, like color pencils, which I use for sketching, Pigma FB brush pins, which I use for inking. And I also picked up a smaller version of the white pit pen that Faber-Castell makes. I like the bigger version of this, so hopefully the white works just as well. And since acrylic jewelry is kind of like it's been my thing for a while, but I've kind of fallen in love with it again because it's lightweight and really colorful, I picked up some findings that can easily be connected into just some earrings. So anyway, I had a pretty good day shopping. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me, and I hope to see you guys again really soon. Hopefully this video was helpful, useful, and informative for you guys. If you enjoyed it, leave me a big old thumbs up. Tell me down in the comments, what would you have bought if you could have spent any amount of money during the Michael's trip? What is your dream wish list? And do me a favor and share this video with someone who's thinking about buying art supplies for a loved one this year. And let me know down in the comments as well whether or not you guys think I should torture myself with another art kit video this year. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye guys!